Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Before I get into this video, I'd like to ask you all to please leave a like and comment on my video and consider subscribing to my channel. Now I'm once more jumping into Destiny 2, and this time I am going after the next part of the story mission. So this is the story mission part 3. Now, one thing to note is in this one you will get to see how clumsy I can be. One of the reasons why I'm not any higher ranked than I am. But let's just go through exactly what I go through on this day. Now, I could air the audio on this video. Unfortunately, I have chosen not to air the audio from the video. Okay, so here is the big warning and message from Osiris for the new season that's starting. And the new season that is starting is going to basically be all of his activities. So Osiris is going to be help us building up towards the Witch Queen DLC coming out next year. So this is the build up to the next big situation. In order to take part in this, you need to have your season pass to do these activities. So his activity is called the Hunt. And we are actually going to be following after him. We're going to go and try to find out exactly what happened. And one of the things that did happen was his ghost, Sagira, who actually was our ghost for a small amount of time, was actually destroyed in the process of saving him. So we are going to go through the whole hunt for vengeance for him. We're going to destroy his enemy. We're going to save him. And then we're going to do a whole set of missions. Now, I'm not sure if we can recover a ghost through the Infinite Forest. That is something which I absolutely have no idea on. But we will find out as we go through this DLC. He still has his powers. So he's yet another guardian without his light, a lightless guardian. So he has powers, but he doesn't have that little light, the ghost to help him. A ghostless guardian, not a lightless guardian, sorry. Okay, so I'm just looking at what I have. I'm checking how many levels I have from the artifact, whether I can climb up any higher. I want to get a little bit more powerful so that I can complete the mission. I don't want to be too underpowered, which you're going to see me go through in a few minutes. Now I know that I am really far behind compared to everybody else, so yeah, I'm sorry about the fact that I'm playing a bit slow. It's just the fact that I don't have full access to the game all the time, every day. Eventually, I will get access to more things, and that's when I will end up building up to a new set of missions. Now, I have previously played on Europa, and you would notice that my light level has gone up quite a bit. That's because I went through and gained myself a ton of levels through doing the activities on Europa. That's doing the public events, going into one or two of the areas, playing with other players, having some fun, doing a few activities. I actually completed several heroic extraction drill missions. And yeah, I was really underpowered. It was really difficult. My super made up for 90% of the kills. Okay, now I have seen all the cutscenes, but I haven't watched all the missions. It's one of those unfortunate things about me. When I decide to make content, I have a habit of blanking out a whole lot of the mission play so that it's more original from my point of view. And when you see me fall off edges and make big mistakes, please don't laugh too hard at me. It's just the way that it goes. I'm a very clumsy player like that with my Titan. Actually, I'm a more clumsy player with my Titan than any of my other players, but I am the best with my Titan. Now, yes, I am really struggling with following directions. I thought that it was just straight up missions. I didn't think we had any relays or any of these fix the broken components situations. But now that I realized all three were right in one area and not like the regular, I'm catching on to the fact that I'm not going to need my Sparrow to do all three of these. And there you go, I switched out my guns. So Verix over here is setting up a little channel to try and help those who are loyal to the old ways to get them out from under Aramis. And you're going to see a lot of development for Verix. Now, as I said, Verix is actually a very, very complicated character. His only goal has been to save his kind. And he believed in keeping to the old culture. Now, what we are about to do is something very, very risky. Even though he doesn't straight up disapprove of what we are doing, he tells us how risky it is to touch the darkness. That's because this is exactly what happened to Aramis. And in case you think Aramis is this massive bad guy, that isn't true. Aramis is actually this very good guy from the Fallen who decided to try and save her people and unify them from the depths of despair we left them in. And that is one of the reasons why she hates us. And when she took on the darkness power, it really corrupted her a lot more than she expected. She thought that she would have some power, it would help her save her house. Instead, it made her totally twisted. Okay, here we go again. Now, this is my first delve into these parts. I didn't know that you could use Sparrow on them. So please forgive me for the slow run that I'm about to take. It's just one of my big flaws when it comes to gameplay. I really do have no excuse for it. I've been playing this game for a long time and I should have known that you check for your Sparrow from the start. Now, here we go. I can see there's a massive facility below this. Now, I do skip this cutscene. I know this is the cutscene where the Drifter, Eris Morn, and the Exo Stranger all use the darkness powers for their purposes to try and advance against this enemy. There's it, I skipped the scene. Unfortunately, I didn't want to go through it. I already knew what was coming. As I said, I've watched all cinematics prior to the DLC's completion. Okay, I don't really mind that one. That's just a little bit of a tick from Eve Echoes. anybody who's playing Eve is highly unlikely watching my Destiny videos. This is just a quick show of how I'm trying to upgrade my power. As you can see, I'm at 1070, but one or two items are really lagging behind, and that's what's holding down my power. And soon I'm going to start climbing up. I'm going to reach the 1100 and I'm going to skyrocket through that. Now, this is a habit I have. I like to clean up as much of these as possible. Now, at one stage, almost all of my lists were almost completely done. They were almost all gold, and right now I don't have that luxury. I already noticed that the music had changed in the background, but I decided I'll just try and rush this a little bit more, get through it, and see if there's any way that I'm getting any free goods from it. Maybe a nice sparrow, a cloth, something of the sort, a blue item. Now, I don't know what the hidden triumph is that I can't see, but I most probably didn't pick up something in one of the previous seasons, so it's just highlighting it here. Well, I'll find out as I go through. Okay, now I should get back. Okay, I should be back any second now, or am I still hunting? So the Exo Stranger is giving us an explanation. Giving us an explanation as to what happened, and she is going back on what happened in the past in Destiny 1, and she's trying to explain to us what's about to happen. So this is our start to our darkness powers. Now we've already been shown that our light powers can be used for evil purposes, and our dark abilities we are about to prove can be used for good abilities. We also know that the darkness can be used for evil and that it will try to turn you towards evil at every point that it has. Now, I'm not sure on the ability to resurrect, but if I am correct, the darkness doesn't allow you to resurrect. Okay, there we go. Now this is a slightly longer video from me. The reason is I have more space. I have a new editing rig basically. So I've been using it to my advantage, and this is my first chance at playing with stasis. So please bear with me on my terrible form with the supers. I'm just getting a feel to it as we go in. Now I am trying to speed up my SP or XP gain because I actually want to advance up to the next level of fighting capabilities, and that there is going to be my biggest point of my push, and hopefully eventually I'll be able to actually do something worthwhile. Yeah, here we go. My clumsiness is about to show totally. There we go. First death. This is just my first of many falls on this particular go. I think I died about 8 times falling off edges, which I knew were there. Yeah, and yes, it almost reached again, right up. And this is how I go through to get to my mission, and I hope that y'all get bear with me on getting a hold of the darkness. I'm actually going to cut the video as soon as I've finished using the darkness supers, and I'll bring you back in the second part of the mission when I go on to the last part of it. Now I'll take you all the way to Varix, and after Varix I will only return in the second mission. Now most of my time spent here for the next 2 hours was spent leveling up, so I hope that y'all can bear with it. Aramis is telling us about what happened in the past. Now we're going to commune with the darkness and we're going to take in some of its power. This is the stasis power that we have at the moment. I'm just testing it out. So I'm just testing out what the powers are like. I wanted to see exactly what we get into our melee from it. Now the reason why I'm not doing so well with this is I'm so used to my other supers. I just use their innate abilities as part of my basic gameplay, and that's exactly what I'm missing out here. Now I actually do have a problem at the moment. I don't know how to use what you call these things, finishers. So I'm really struggling to use them, and you're going to find that it's going to play a massive part in how terrible I play. So here goes again, super round 2. Okay, as you saw, I almost fell again. As you can see, I'm really fighting tough. I'm not enjoying this fight much. I don't understand how these powers work, so it's really affecting me bad. And there you go, just break through the stasis and take out as much as I possibly can. Now, one thing you will notice is that I will use my super on the most powerful enemies as far as possible, but I will also just use it like a quick wrap up the ads move. And since this doesn't benefit me in the way I like, it's really taking me a long time to get around everything. Okay, a big boss. I wanted to see what type of reaction it gives to this big Hydra. It didn't have the idea that I wanted. So here we go again, round two with supers. Now, yes, I do really love hitting up close and personal. And there we go. I've just finished off my first try at stasis. And yes, I do like smashing more than freezing things in place and shooting. So that's going to be my general play style with it. Now, you're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to die a ton as I go through the next part of this mission. Our ghost is basically trying to educate us on what we should do with stasis power and the darkness. He's basically warning us about the usage of it and that we can't allow it to consume us. We have to make sure that it's used for good, no evil purposes, and that we have to be very careful about what we're doing because we going into a place where we're not supposed to be. Basically, we're doing things that aren't of the light. It's dangerous considering what he is and what we are. So basically those were his warnings to us. Now you may notice that I'm actually running from this area. That's because I have a feeling that I'm not powerful enough to beat this encounter, and that is actually part of the situation. Now, I will advance quite a bit into the story, but I am going to skip most of it, even though it should make this here very interesting. The reason for it is quite simple. I don't do really anything special in that time. I just do a ton of public events, and it isn't really the most entertaining thing to watch a person do, just repeating things over and over again and running around in a circle. So I am going to cut off the video as soon as I reach Ferrix, and that's going to be it for this Destiny video. Now I hope that you have enjoyed my gameplay. Now this is Elementary 72, as you can see with the spelling error from when I was a kid, and definitely something that I have enjoyed quite a bit. So thank you all for watching and have a good day. I'm just going to leave it to play all the way till I reach Ferrix. If you want any better lore coverage, I'm just gonna put this in here. There is Evade by Mylan Games. Um, Evade by Mylan Games. There's so many of us out there on YouTube who do Destiny content. There's even Houndish and uh, a few others. They also do a ton of these gameplays. You can always enjoy watching any of our footage and how we do things. Thank you all for watching and have a good day.